garden that once blossomed has now withered into neglect, overrun by thick grass that tangles deep into the soil. A quiet kind of sadness washes over me as I find only a few surviving perennials. I had planted these a few years back, but my time tending to this patch of earth had been traded with chasing little feet eager to explore the world beyond it. And though I wouldn't exchange those moments for anything, I often wished for the chance to shower this garden with the love it deserved, and once again feel its soil between my fingers. Now, with those eager little feet turned into a 2-year-old stride, I hope to find more opportunities to return here. However, to start feels overwhelming. The weight of the garden's neglect is heavier than I had imagined. I hear myself ask, where do I even begin? My body takes a few deep breaths and replies, one piece of earth at a time. For 2025, I set a theme, the year of simplifying. As I cleared my space, lightened my schedule, and stepped back from social media, I began to notice something. Beneath the clutter and behind the mum rushing out the door lived a wild, overgrown garden of unprocessed thoughts, repetitive inner stories, and unresolved emotions. You might remember in part 1 of this series when I said, there's a magic that happens when we start with the outside. And it's true. By simplifying our outer world, we create space, an opening for a deeper kind of transformation. But it's not about stopping at the surface or getting caught up in only the external. If we truly want honest, lasting change, we also need to turn inward. In yoga, this is the Manaomaya kosha, the sheath of thought and emotion. It's alive with memories, moods, and stories. Some we've forgotten to water, others we may never thought to weed. But mental clarity isn't something that can be forced. We create the conditions for it to grow. I'm Martina, a certified yoga therapist with a deep calling to help women thrive. On this channel, I'm here to guide you toward a life of vibrant health through movement, mindful living, and sacred ritual. Does this item spark joy? I would ask myself, echoing the words of Marie Kondo. And it was in those reflective moments I began to realize we hold on to things for many reasons. There were things I was holding on to not because they brought joy. I thought I had to. It wasn't out of love, but rather obligation. It's not just about physical objects. It's about letting go of the invisible weight we carry, the pressures, rules, and shoulds, the old stories and beliefs that shape how we spend our time and energy. Good morning. I am here watching the sunrise and feeling the warmth of my cup of tea as I wanted to take this moment to talk to you before the day begins, because just recently I found myself in a place of regression. I was in overwhelm and stress once again. And there was a long time there where I felt really content. I had created space, to spend more time with my son, and I felt like I was in this really beautiful feminine flow. And then suddenly it felt sudden. I don't think it was quite so sudden, but I felt burnt out. I think I was in tears like every evening, and I was experiencing this really demanding behavior from my son. And I know it was him like wanting my attention. And it was such a surprise to me because I hadn't brought in clutter. I hadn't filled our calendar with outings and things to do, but yet my nervous system was still in this place of stress and fight and flight. And perhaps you've been here as well. Perhaps you've decluttered and you felt content for a while, and then suddenly the stress returns. And this is when we realize that the outer work is important, but it's not enough. We also have to do the inner work. We have to look at our inner world. Mental clutter disrupts our entire inner world. It keeps your nervous system convinced there's a threat. Everything begins to feel urgent. We confuse rest with laziness and stillness with weakness. Eventually, we forget how to rest. And I know for myself, I forgot what real joy feels like. I blocked out all the things in my life that brought me pleasure. The good thing is that you are not your thoughts and beliefs. Instead, we can view them as a direct response, a response to every experience you've ever lived. In yoga, we call these samskaras. They're the moments that shaped how you saw yourself in the world. They are deeply felt memories and the imprints of how others treated you, whether for better or worse. From samskaras arise vasanas. These are our tendencies and inclinations, how we move through the world, the familiar patterns we slip into without thinking. Some we created to protect ourselves, others unconsciously hold us back, and some keep us aligned with our deepest truth. So how did I get back here to this state of overwhelm and stress? And I think it began quite subtly. I began, filling little pockets of time with extra cleaning. It's like I was searching or striving for this perfect Pinterest home. And then that kind of overflowed into my parenting, and I lost my truth there because, I know that me and my son do really well together when we go about our day together. I invite him into what I'm doing and include him in what I'm doing. And suddenly I was creating structured learning, and that just created more stress for me and more things to do, and I was putting more on my plate. And with this, I began to realize that rest doesn't necessarily feel natural to me. Growing up, rest was seen as lazy, and I remember I I would make myself look busy so that I would never be questioned for doing nothing. And now when I rest, I feel as though, things are going to go out of control. And that is the other thing, right? My perfectionist qualities are coming in. And these perfectionist qualities make me want to keep everything in control. And then my people-pleasing qualities come in, which have me focus on everything that is outside of myself. It's here that I'm still searching for validation. I am wanting to feel like I'm enough, to be enough, to do enough, to be that good girl. And it's all of this together that makes me do more and try and do it all in this perfect way. The ways I overdo, the need to please, even how I avoid rest, they were shaped by the environment I grew up in. I have learnt that the way someone treated you is a projection of their own samskaras and vasanas. They were mirroring their own insecurities, wounds, and beliefs. This doesn't make it any easier or excuse hurtful behaviour, but it may help you see that their actions weren't a reflection of your worth. We can't control how others behave, but we can choose how to meet ourselves in this moment. We can decide whether we keep carrying their stories or start writing our own. For me, it's devotion. Devotion to my nervous system, to my body, mind, and spirit. I don't force or try to fix. Instead, I return to soft practices, movement, slowing down, simplifying, journaling. I also give myself permission to feel every emotion and to witness every belief. I dive into my inner world with curiosity. I ask, where did this belief come from? What's behind my triggers and reactions? From there, I gently begin shaping a new belief, one I want to embody and live by. And now I am no stranger to inner work, but I don't think that I've ever slowed down this much. And my year of simplifying has allowed me to create so much space and have extra time to really look at the things that I have avoided through the years, that I know that are there but have avoided. And I've had some really uncomfortable moments, but I've come to realize that the shadow is not to be feared. It can be really beautiful, and that every time we regress, it's just part of the process, because we come out the other side with this deeper awareness. And with that, we're able to plant new seeds, both inside and outside. And with that, I'm going to go get ready for the day. I am going to finish my tea and wake up my son, because we're going to go out in the garden together. We'll see how long that lasts, and we're going to plant some flowers. In slowing down, I've noticed the walls I built for protection start to soften. What I tucked away isn't as overwhelming as I once thought. It's more like my garden, one that needs steady care. The weeding, the blossoming, it's all part of the same process. You are the garden. You decide what takes root here, what nourishment does your soil need? You can gently pull back the overgrowth, letting light touch the places long hidden. You can trim away what no longer serves you, making space for tender shoots to awaken and reach toward the sky. A garden does not return to life in a single day, but it will, with patience, with love, one piece of earth at a time.